Hello. Checking everything is alright. Give me a second, guys. Okay. I guess we can start, but let me check some stuff. Actually, if you wouldn't mind, I would go for a quick coffee. I'm not that prepared, but we will be doing some Auditd, as you can see. I will try to explain the basics of the Auditd. Not that hard, not that okay. My social media is updated, which is really good. Okay, so let me log to the system. Okay, give me some 5 minutes up maximum. I will come back. Okay, I'm back. Try to be as fast as possible. Let's maximize the window. Let's open the terminal. It is yeah, Red Hat 8.4. Okay, let's quickly check whether the Auditd is installed. It is installed. I do believe it is installed on the Red Hat by default, and of course on the CentOS system as well. Interesting thing is that it is not installed by default on the Ubuntu, which is kind of strange. So you would need to install it manually on the Ubuntu systems, right? And you would use the sudo apt install Auditd, just like that, right? And yeah. Okay, so now let's check whether do we have any Auditd rules already. To do that, we will use the auditctl command, and we pass the argument of L. We provide the sudo password. You can see that we have no rules. This is our utility to check and to create also rules, right? So we have this one command first, auditctl. Okay, now let's now create some rules. Let's imagine that we want to monitor some file changes, right? Let's call that we want to monitor changes to our passwd file. In order to do that, we would write a rule. We will use our auditctl, right? We use the argument w. Give me a second, please. I got the phone. Give me a second, guys. Okay. I am back. So yeah, so we specify, we want to create a rule now. So we specify the switch W, which is for watch, and now we specify watch. Yeah, I think it is watch, and now we specify the file we want to watch. Yeah, so now we need to specify the permissions that we are going to watch that are being used on this file that we are watching. So we can, there are a couple of options here. So we can do write, we can do A for attribute changes. We can also do read, and we can do execute. In our case, we want to look for changes to this file. So we use the write and attribute changes. Now, it is good practice to add the key, which is kind of name to our rule. It will be helpful when you write some detections on it, because you can filter on this name, and you can find this event much easier, right? But you need access to configuration, right? We have access to configuration, we can configure it ourselves, so this is no problem for us, but it can be a problem in the corporal environment, because you are not always able to perform changes on the machines to the configuration. Let's call it something like this. So we have created our rule. Let's take a look whether it is here. It is here. So the rule is here. Yeah, and there is a with this there is a problem, because if we are using this command to add our rules, the rule is temporary only, and it will be gone when we reboot the machine. So to make it permanent, we can create files inside the snapping directory. I will become sudo to make my life easier. Right? We can amend this file. We can make changes to this file to make it permanent. So here we can add our rule at the bottom, but let's quickly go through what it is actually here, because it is default. It is by default like this. So this uppercase D actually is responsible for the deletion of the rules whenever the Auditd daemon is restarted. So this is the reason that the rules are being deleted on reboot. So you could, in theory, you could delete this or comment this and have your rules be permanent, right? By using the command line. The buffer, it sets the number of outstanding audit buffers that you can have at one time. If the buffer gets full, right, and the system cannot generate more Auditd events messages. The F with the 1 set failure mode to syslog. So you can have the 0, 1 or 2 here. 0 would be the silent mode, so the Auditd wouldn't do anything when there is some critical errors. You can have the 1, which means the errors will be reported, yeah, if I remember correctly. And you can have 2 here, which would cause the kernel to go into the panic mode. So yeah, and it is highly advisable in high secure environments, whatever that means. Actually, we can talk about that and speculate. To put the 2 here, right? Okay, so how about I will demonstrate this to you. At this moment, we do have one rule, right? So let's reboot. Let's reboot our machine and let's see what happens to our rule. Drinking some coffee while this Red Hat machine reboots. It's taking some time. Okay, it's here. So now we can go to our terminal. Let's maximize our terminal. Let's become root for now, just to make our life easier. And let's see whether the rule is still there. No, it is not, like we have assumed. So let's go to our rule file. Let's go to the bottom of the file and let's add the file. I mean the rule. It is always good to put some comments, so you don't have to remember all the stuff that you have written to your configuration file. So something like this would be fine. So we use the W for watch. We put the file name. It's not the file name, it's actually the path to the file. Now we specify the permission that we are going to monitor for. It is write and attribute change. We give it a key, which is pass wd changes. We save it and quit the file. Let's look at our... yeah, there is nothing here. I guess we can... okay, we are not able to restart this for some reason. Okay, service Auditd restart. Okay, for some reason you need to use the old syntax for the Auditd. Yeah. Okay, I put the wrong command before. Just ignore that. Yeah. So our rule is still there after we have restarted the Auditd daemon. So now we are watching for the changes being made to files. Right, so let's actually see what is generated. In order to check the file, the logs generated by Auditd, we can use the au search command, and we specify the key, which corresponds to the key that we have put in our rule. Right. There are okay, so those are events related to me making changes to Auditd configuration. So I do believe if we add a new user, for example Jimmy, we should get some events, because by using the binary, which is user add, we have indeed make changes to the etc passwd. We can see some syscalls. The binary that was executed, some more stuff, what file was accessed here and here, also here, lots of stuff. So we know that it is working, and indeed it is generating some events when the passwd file is being accessed, changed, I mean, right? We can also provide the switch, the another switch, which is I. Okay, so the wrong order, something like this, yeah. And the I should translate every hex encoded stuff that is in the, well, not all the, I guess actually it is decoded, and also it will convert the UIDs to the usernames, as you can see. This is really handy. You can also change some configuration to make it permanent, right? That it is always being translated, and send it to your SIEM solution with usernames and command lines being translated, which is really nice. So we are watching currently changes to our etc passwd file. We can also do some monitoring on the directories, right? We could look for changes within the directory. We could also watch for the execution on the directory, which would mean that we would monitor the CD to the directory, right? Something like this. Let's actually do some example. Let's go to my user. Let's actually log out. Let's go to my user and let's create directory which is called secret. Easy enough. And now we will create some rule. I will make a temporary rule. In the sudo permission. And let's look for the read permission for now. And let's call it secret. Okay, so this is really, I have forgotten to, yeah, something like that. I have some problems with writing, I don't mind. Okay, so let's look what is already being generated for the secret, and we need special permissions. So this is related to me making changes to the Auditd configuration. So nothing more should be coming, right? You can see this is the last event. It's nothing. Let's actually list the secret and now check whether something is generated. Okay, so that was the config change that we have seen previously, and this is a new event that we have generated right now. Some nice stuff here. We have CWD, which stands for the current working directory, from what directory the action has been performed. Right, I was at my home directory when I was doing this. We can see what file was accessed. We have also some information in the syscall. Who performed the action? Right, we have UID here. What binary, what program was run? The absolute path to the binary that was executed. We have the key. What syscall was performed, and whether was it successful or not. So it's lots of stuff that can help us. Writing some seam detection and stuff like that. And you can see how verbose the Auditd is. We have performed one action and it has performed 1, 2, 3, 4 events, right? If I'm not wrong. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And you can see the proc title event here. We can't copy it. And we can go to the cyber chef. can paste. Okay, this is not what I have been expecting to paste. Let me grab it again. Okay, this is it from hex. So we have the command that was executed. Which is really nice. But yeah, as I told you before, you can use the I switch, lowercase I, to have it already converted, decoded, which is really handy. And you can also put the little configuration change within the Auditd configuration to make it permanent. So we have been watching the file and the folder, right? The directory. We can also watch system calls. And we are going to do that with some example, which is, I think, is better. Let me check my ID, which is 1000. Let me sip some coffee. Okay, so let's create a temporary rule. I will write the syntax and then I will explain it. Okay, so here we specify the action and the list, and the exit here means that the rule will be added to the system call exit list. So whenever the operating system exits from the system call, the exit list will be used to check whether the Auditd event must be generated, and always is the action, and that means that the Auditd event should always be created whenever there is an exit from specific system call, and we separate that with the comma. I hope that it makes sense. Now we specify the field, and the field we are looking for is the arch, which refers to the machine CPU architecture, right? B64 is referring to the x86 64 CPU, right? So the modern 64-bit machine. And the S, the uppercase S, specifies the system call that we are going to monitor. OpenNAT is the system call which is generated when we open file or create a file. Next we specify the field, and we are looking for the user with the ID 1000, which is my user. So to sum up, this rule will monitor for the system call, which means for the system call OpenNut, which should be generated when this user opens or creates a file. Okay, so let's check. Let's become a okay. Let's maybe not become a root, because I need to be this user. Okay, and I can see that this will be very verbose, because I am opening the sudo and it is generating lots of events. But let's actually create a file which will be called secret file, and let's put the dot in front of the name. Let's write something. Okay, I have stopped by accident. Something like this. And it's here. Yeah, you can see how much stuff is being generated. So let's actually grep for the secret file. Okay, it's nothing here. How about we grep for the vim? Okay. Lots of the stuff that has been generated when I opened the vim. So this is the issue with the Auditd, that it generates lots of stuff and you need to be very specific most of the time with your rules, right? Yeah. Okay, so we have something related to our file. This file has been accessed. Some events related to it being in the swap memory. Yeah. But you can see that we got something. There is also another utility which is called the AU report. We can also specify the same, I guess something like this, right? So lots of events has been generated. Okay, so we would need to get it with the grep, I think. Yeah. So that will be all the events related to our first rule, which is this one. And what we got here? So we have the time, the name of the rule, the key, whether it was successful, and what binary was executed, the user that did the action, and I think this is the ID. I'm not 100% sure. Let me. Yeah. Yeah, this is the event number, which is the unique ID for the Auditd messages. We can see that with the something like this. This is the event number. This is the timestamp. So we could actually use everything and grep for the entire string, and we have only the related events to one action. In this case, that action was about, let's actually put also the lowercase I switch. Alright, because it is being translated. So we look for the 225 in this case. Yes. So we have now all the events related to one action, and we have translated decoded the hex and translated the IDs to username. Which is really nice. So the can also tell you the use case, not the use case, but the rule. The quick rule I always write when I want to test some stuff. Is something like this. Auditctl, I look for the always exit with the arch b64. This part is necessary for the system call rules, and I look for the exe CVE, and I specify the key I look for, right? This is related to executing the binaries. So yeah, this is actually almost everything about the Auditd that you would need to know about for now. Some basic stuff, right? Oh, there is also one thing I want to share with you, which is inside the user share. Oh, it's not here. I'm looking for the default rules. Let's forgot how to write something like this. I have forgotten in which directory the default rules are being stored. When you install the Auditd, you get the default rules that you can use. Nothing here. Perhaps it is called differently, so let's do something like that. Nice. There's nothing here, so let's do some manual work. Nothing interesting here. Yeah, here. So in the Red Hat, this is the directory, and we get some rules here, some defined rules already that you can use as a starting point and something like that. There are some rules that I want you to closely look for. Is it here? One of them is the PCI DSS, which is really related to the payment card industry data security standard. You can actually look at it. Get some rules, comments. Okay, so we are some, and it is being mapped to the standard. I can see objectives. Yeah, so we monitor for the changes to these files in this case. Some nice rules here. What else? The STIG, which is about the security technical implementation guides. Very important whether you are working with the US government, perhaps maybe other governments as well. So we get some rules for the changes here within the sudoers file. And what else? Should be other rule. Got some local rules, container, networking. Oh, this is also important. It relates to the National Industry Security Program. It is used by the US DoD, right? Department of Defense. Let's actually look at this. Okay, so you can see that there are some prerequisites that we need to do in order to use this the rule set. But I would consider testing this before deploying it. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, before deploying it to the production environment, I would consider testing it on the testing environment, right? Because as we already know, the Auditd is very verbose and can generate lots of events from one action, right? So lot of different stuff. Thinking about whether there is something else I can tell you about the Auditd. Not really, actually. So everything. So to sum up, we can monitor for changes in files, directories, system calls, and yeah, Auditd is very verbose. It generates lots of events for the one action. So it is always good to test your rule in the test environment, so your SIM solution is not flooded with some unnecessary events messages. So this was nice. This was rather productive from the start, which is really something that I do not do. As you remember, that I like to start with the game, then I transition to the main topic of the stream. So I guess we can chill for a bit with some game. We'll open the Steam. And let us do some usual Red versus Blue by FredGen. And in meantime, I will check whether there are some questions and something. So this is the hard scenario. I do my basic stuff. start. I like the ICS security monitoring quickly. Nice. Segment the network and install some endpoint security on this workstation, then on this. That's right. Here we go. Some more endpoint security. I like this approach. Okay. Safe testing methods and the policies and procedures. Now we go for the vulnerability mapping. ICS vendor certification. And some more endpoint security perhaps. That's good. Let us mitigate some vulnerabilities. Within the most critical segment. And we enforce strong passwords, we encrypt traffic, and we, I guess, do some more endpoint security. God damn it. This is not looking good. Let's activate the incident response. I guess we have lost, maybe. Or maybe not. I will replace the assets. No. How did I damage it? It appears that I have damaged it indeed. But I had the or they just happen to see it. Oh well, sometimes you lose. So yeah, we have got the Auditd covered. What can I can tell you about, for example, the what I have been up to. I have recently started doing the LFCE with the discourse. Looks good. We will see. I just started it, so we will see how it goes. I'm not really satisfied with the course that was with the LFCS, but I have heard that this is better. Let's some good reviews. Yeah, I like this, that you can choose the distribution. Let's actually play one more. Perhaps we will have more luck this time. We start with the basics, with the Steam solution, gateway firewall, and the asset of the inventory. Okay. We'll deploy some endpoint security. Now I see security monitoring, safe testing methods. Okay, so now vendor certification, vulnerability mapping, and perhaps some more endpoint security. Great, segment the network, and let's get some more endpoint security. Okay. I will get some network sensors. Why not? It's time to get the policies and procedures. Okay, we need some electronic looks. I got the budget. It's fine. Okay. Doing some usual stuff, nothing actually to comment on here. Waiting for this asset to be clean. It is clean. Deactivate. There's some more threat hunting. I want the procedures. Strong Wi-Fi is fine. The VPN solution is also good now. Security awareness training is nice here. Actually, we are doing really good. Really good. So let's check our vulnerabilities. Okay, so I focus on this endpoint, not the endpoint but the segment. It's for strong passwords. Okay, what else we can do? I guess we can get everything that we did not get up to this point, right? Some default credentials. We are doing great and almost winning. Well, let's not get ahead, because as you can see there are some still endpoints that I am not monitoring. I need some money. We can do some mitigations in meantime when we are waiting for the budget to arrive. Let's finish with the endpoint security. I guess we can do the penetration test now. Request the ICS vendor certification. Okay, we need some physical security in this situation, which is not bad. Okay, so we have get the threat hunter, which is nice. So you have more human resources. We'll do patching and activate the incident response. Well, maybe not yet. because I want the physical two-factor to be implemented, and now we can do some more stuff. I don't want to do hardening because it takes 2 turns. That looks better. Now we clean asset, gather forensics, do some more threat hunting, and wait. Asset is clean, but we need to deactivate the incident response, so we'll perform some more threat hunting. Okay. Security skills training. Okay, something compromised. What are we waiting on? On this. Okay, I will be greedy and wait. Now we perform incident response actions. Okay, this is also down. I guess we are almost finished. Because we are almost at 100%. Yeah, threat interwin. So they did some stuff. Have detected everything. Yeah, that was good. So I guess this is all from me for now. I don't want to make it unnecessarily longer. So I see you the next time, hopefully sooner than this time. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and on all that stuff, whatever you feel. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.